What's up, YouTube? Modern Mountain Man here. Welcome to the very first ever episode of Man Stuff Monday. I'm adding a new show to the channel called Man Stuff Monday, and on Mondays what I'm going to do is either review things that are kind of like man stuff, products that, lend itself to men, or I'm going to just address issues related to masculinity. I believe we're at a point in time in our history as a society that masculinity is under attack. It's under attack from various movements. It's under attack from educational systems, various things like that. I want to know what it is to recapture masculinity, and from my worldview, biblical masculinity. What does that look like? And today, in the very first episode of Man Stuff Monday, we're going to start a series called Man Habits. We're going to discuss habits that men should incorporate into their life. If we want to be successful, if we want to grow as men, if we want to be successful in our businesses, marriage, hobbies, whatever your goal is to be successful at, we need to start forming habits now that'll lend towards success. And the very first habit that I want to talk about today is reading. In the society that we live in today, it's really easy just to turn on YouTube, which, I'm a YouTube creator and you're watching me right now. So I know it's an easy thing to do. We can learn, it's quick, it's easy, it's not hard, or we can surf the internet and read a blog. But what happened to reading books? I do love the internet. I love social media. I love blogging, all that good stuff, because it really does even the playing field. It allows everyone to have a voice. Sometimes the internet can be the worldwide bathroom stall. Anybody can write anything they want to on it. They can be completely inaccurate. They can be inadept to their subject matter, but because they've got a link and an upload button, they can say anything they want to and pose as an expert. When you write a book, there's been some risk and some validation on the part of the publishers because they've seen something in you and said, you know what, you're an expert. You've got something to say. You've got a voice that needs to be heard. So let's write this down. A few years back, there was a movie called Gifted Hands. It was the Ben Carson story. And I was very convicted by the way Ben Carson completely changed his life from living in the slums and the ghettos. He could have been just another stat, but he said, you know what? I'm going to read. And he picked up some books. And it was challenging to me at the time because whereas I had been very much a reader in the past, I'd gotten to where I was very microwave and I was just watching videos and looking at blogs. And it challenged me to start reading again. So I want to share a few things with you that are on my reading list in 2018. As always, the Bible. Most of you guys who followed my channel for a while, I'm a pastor. So I'm always going to be reading that. A few other things, as I'm delving into masculinity, I've got some books here that a friend of mine sent me, How to Disciple Men, Pastoring Men, and Why Men Hate Going to Church. I plan on reading those, and, some of that may incorporate its way into Man Stuff Monday. Some other things that I'm planning on delving into. One of the hobbies I plan on taking on, I've been a fly fisher for a while. I've been a fisherman as far back as I can remember. As long as I've been able to hold a rod, I've been catching fish. I picked up fly fishing in my 20s. A style of fly fishing that has recently become popular is a style called tenkara. Tenkara is basically like a Japanese version of fly fishing, just to kind of simplify it a little bit. It's a telescopic rod that doesn't have a reel. It's perfectly suited for up here in the mountains where I live and you're fishing undercover. And so I'm getting my hands on a tenkara rod or two here soon. So I've got this book here, Tenkara Fishing. It's written by Daniel Galhardo. He's the president of Tenkara USA. And man, just the pictures in here, the information here, this is kind of like, this is the Bible for tenkara fishing. I've got another book here called Fishing the New River Valley. That's the section of Virginia that I live in here in the New River Valley. And basically this book lists all the fishable waters, whether it's creeks, rivers, lakes. And not only do I plan on reading this book, but I plan on reviewing it chapter by chapter by going to those streams, fishing them, telling you whether this was accurate or whether things had changed since the book was written, and share my fishing success with you. And I'll be fishing these streams Tenkara style. Another book that's on my reading list, the Nosler Reloading Guide. I got Nosler Reloading Guide not just because I fancy their bullets, but also because, man, in front of every chapter, before you go in there to read their secret recipes for success with their bullets, what grains and powders and various things like that. Right before every caliber, there's actually a chapter written about those individual calibers, written by some expert in that caliber. And I found like the history of those things very informative and helpful as I'm reloading different calibers and different rounds. And so, Man Stuff Monday, episode 1 in the books. Read, guys. Men, you're leaders. Not to say that women can't lead. Women have leadership abilities, and I'm not taking anything away from women when I direct this statement towards men. But men, you're wired uniquely to lead. And there's an old saying, I believe John Maxwell may have coined this phrase: readers are leaders and leaders are readers. If you're going to lead well, read. Take some time out of your day. You don't have to read chapters and chapters, but take some time out of your day. Start the habit easy. Read a couple pages, read one chapter a day, pick a book. I challenge you, put it in the comments below. What book are you going to read over the course of the next month? God bless you. Go take your mountain.